There we go. All right. Yay. Well, welcome everybody once again to Astronomy Daily Live. Hope everybody's doing great out there. Everything is good here. Nothing particularly exciting or interesting to necessarily report from the home front here. Just sort of a normal day. Going to have a little bit of a storm rolling through, so definitely cloudy. So that's how it goes. That is the life of the astronomer. It's times like these, right? As an optical astronomer, uh, when I really just and I'm not going to say this too loud because I got these things sitting right behind me here, but you know, it really makes me want to just put these things away and move into radio astronomy. So because it's like I mean, even and it's frustrating enough in other parts of the country and parts of the world, right, where it's cloudy and rainy a lot of the time, right? Well, I'm sitting in a very nice place where it's supposed to be, clear. You know, the 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 advertisement says 300 nights every year it is clear, right? Well, that's not. It's that might be an average, maybe, but I even doubt that. So anyway, so yeah, it's these long stints of cloudy nights with these occasional, clear ones in between that are just absolutely maddening. So yeah. So anyway, aside from that, all is well. So here we gather each and every day, pretty much each and every day, same time, 2 hours UTC, and pretty much the same place. Sometimes I take this outside and do an obs session with everybody using this scope mainly. This is a Celestron Nexstar 8SE, and it's kind of hard to see, but on the bottom here is an S-Big ST7 CCD camera, 16-bit camera, relatively low noise, and I'm gaining some pretty good confidence that I'm getting in the at least in the sub 50 millimagnitude accuracy range for at least stars and objects brighter than about 12th magnitude or so. That sort of drops down as we get fainter stars. But I'm able to see 14th or 15th or 16th magnitude stars relatively well. With some pretty good signal to noise. But yeah, it's just with clouds and stuff, you just can't do it. So all right, well, cool. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Since he's making so much noise, I might as well introduce our panelist today. Hey, Bobby, what's going on?
Hey, you don't mind a little bit of Earth Radio, the epic radio reality tour on Mixer.com.
Very cool. So he's running a session here too.
Yeah, Ron from Earth Radio is doing a session right now.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool. All right. Yeah. Ron is great, and it's good to hear his sound.
Now, I think if you got children, this is the type of session you might want to shun your children away from it.
Yeah. Well, I think that people need to be exposed to all kinds of things, and usually the sooner the better. So I say that for all kinds of things. When it comes to like science and mathematics and stuff, I think the kids should be exposed to all the dirty stuff as soon as they possibly can. So you know, I would like, you know, in hindsight, right, thinking about it now, um, I I think, you know, that kids should be introduced to sort of algebraic stuff and maybe some calculus things really early on, you know,
Oh
right at the
yeah,
beginning
Uncle
of
Bill
school.
Thoreau had said queer has different meaning to porch potatoes and lawn loungers than it does for astronomers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, that's exactly true. But it's the astronomers that advertise those kinds of numbers here, and you know, yes, it is more clear here than normal, right? If you sort of take, you know, the average, but 300 clear nights a year, maybe sometimes, not this year. That's already gone. So yeah. Anyway, so cool. So I noticed that Jim with Carolina Sky Astronomy is on the chat. Tom is in the chat. There's Uncle Bill. He's in the chat as well. And Bobby's in the chat, of course. So very cool. Very nice to always have everybody here. You come on in whenever you possibly can. There's absolutely no requirement that you be here each and every day, but I think it's fantastic that you are. So yeah, it's always great to have everybody in. And speaking of everybody in, tomorrow night's live stream is going to be canceled. So that's going to be for
and I also do have an announcement as well.
Okay.
This weekend is going to be one of those wrestling weekends as well. There's some local wrestling at the junior high in Morgan State that I'm going to be going to. And it's local as well, like a local group.
Oh, nice.
And we might have a WWE viewing party on Sunday.
Wow. Sounds like a busy week. Yeah, that sounds like a busy weekend.
Yep.
Nice. Well, you know, if you like that kind of stuff, I say go for it, right? You know, yeah, I think it's nice to have, you know.
And Tom didn't get the link.
Didn't get the link. What? Tom, you know I always send out the link. Always. Let me make sure that that happened, and if it didn't, I'll just I'll send it to you again. It looks like I did, but I will send it to you again here, Tom. Let's see, what do I got to do? I got to do that, and then I got to do that. Okay, so this is just going to you. Bam. Okay, just send it out again, Tom.
We would like to welcome Chuck Daggum in the chat.
Hey there, Chuck. Great to see you as well. Becoming sort of a regular here. That's very cool. Always like to see regulars coming in as often as they possibly can. And yeah, Jim, you know, this is a pretty nice scope. You know, for the money, right? You get as with most things, you get what you pay for, and I got, you know, what I could afford, and you know, I'm able to compensate a little bit for some of its weaknesses. Probably its biggest weakness is tracking, right? It's not very good at tracking. So luckily, I'm able to write software to deal with that. But you know, if I didn't think that there is probably software out there to deal with that kind of thing, but you know, I don't know how much easier or harder it is to actually use that stuff. So I like the fact that I can you know um, grab my data and run it through some code, you know, that I've written, and if it doesn't work exactly right, I can change the code and recompile it and run it again and over, you know, over and over and over again, and you know, finally get it right. So I'm lucky in that sense. That's really my only major gripe with this scope, is that the tracking just isn't all that great. But as I said, you sort of get what you pay for, right? This entire scope, new, right? I think was something like $1,500 or so. So I mean, you know, on the scale of things, that's pretty cheap, right? It's pretty cheap. I mean, a good mount for this tube is going to run about $2,000 or $3,000 just for the mount, right? Not for the scope, right? Actually, the scope is pretty nice. So I definitely wouldn't change anything about the scope or the optics or anything at all. But given a choice of a slightly better mount, you know, that tracks a little bit better, yeah, I may opt for that at some point. As it is, you know, I'm getting upwards of 4 or 5 second exposures without much of a tracking problem. So you know, if I can do that and then take 100 or 200 or 300 pictures, right, and stack them, that's really good signal to noise. Actually, that's one of the things that I have to do with my data still, is get a measurement of the signal to noise. But I think it's going to be pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with all
And
of
the
that.
one that is doing that session right now on Earth Radio is Chris Elliott.
Oh yeah, he's so Chris is doing a show.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you know.
I think he's doing a competition of an artist called Hollywood Undead. That's the name. Uh-oh, interrupt for a clock.
Hollywood Undead?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure.
It's probably just a band or something.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Hey there, yeah. Tom has popped into the panel. Hey, what's going on?
Not too much. Not too much. Got something wrong here on my side, though. Never pulled down either of those messages. I had to go to their Yahoo website, read the mail from there. So.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Computers abusing me today.
Computers are beating you up. Let me look at the yeah, it's sort of the usual.
It showed up in my Yahoo account. It just, my computer didn't pull it down with my mail. Yeah,
I see.
It's worked like every time up until today.
Yeah, well, it's got to be, you know, that Mercury's in retrograde or something. It's got to be something simple like that.
I think my sign is in the wrong house.
The sign might be in the wrong house too.
Oh,
yeah,
boy, that's trouble.
So, Hollywood Undead is like one of those heavy metal rock bands and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah,
like heavy metal.
Nice. There, you know.
I graduated in high school. We're big fan of heavy metal.
Yeah, there's, I don't particularly like that genre of sound, but there's some great musicianship in there, right? And being a musician, I tend, to sort of listen to music differently, I guess, and so I always really appreciate listening to those kinds of things because the musicianship, how the instruments are being played, what's being played, the modalities, all of that is sometimes uh, pretty interesting stuff, right? Pretty interesting, and in his day, right? In his day, Mozart was a heavy metal dude, right? I mean, he was a rock star, right? Major rock star, and a lot of the music that he did was sort of not necessarily looked down upon, but it's like, oh, Wolfgang, that sound is hurting my ears, right? And there's so many notes and da 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 da. So the same kind of thing, right? Exactly the same thing, and so yeah, I like I said, as far as the genre goes, it's sometimes okay, but I do very much appreciate the musicianship, how instruments are played and all of that. So, all right, well, cool. Let's see. I'm gonna check the chat really quick, see if everything is going good. Yeah, Jim, I don't know if a wedge would help an incredible amount or not, right? I mean, really, at least my understanding, right, is that what that does is it uh, instead of the system having to track with two motors at the same time, to keep track of the sky, because this is an alt as mount, right? So it does this and it does this, right? But if it's mounted up on a polar aligned wedge, right, then it just has to move along one axis instead. So, would that be better than having to use two motors instead of one? I don't know. Yeah, yes, it makes it equatorial. So you basically remove the need for one motor, right? You just have to move in right ascension, right? As it is now, in order to track things.
Oh, never mind.
You got it?
Yeah, check out. I think it doesn't a wedge make it an equal or something.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and that's exactly what I was just talking about. So yeah, it's so does that?
He's gonna be joining Will soon. I just chat with him on the Mixer chat.
Oh, okay.
And he wants to know like how long you're definitely going to be.
You know how these astronomers are. You never know what they're going to do. So my response is come on in whenever you want, and if we're here, we're here. That's about it. That's as much as I can promise. So yeah,
I'll just tell him to come in soon.
Yes, only one motor to track. Yeah. So is that would that make it better or easier than using two motors to track? I don't know. Yeah, I don't I don't really think so. Maybe. So yeah, you know, that might be something to consider, right? I can definitely put this on a wedge. I'm pretty sure they sell them, and you know, if you do, you know the proper kind of polar alignment, yeah, that might improve things a little bit. But as I said, I can sort of deal with all of that in the software, and in fact, um, you know, because the tracking sort of moves around a little bit, right? It's sort of doing this over time, right? I actually get effectively a larger field of view that way. So in a certain sense, it's kind of better.
I guess what somebody was talking about, I'm not sure what he was referring to. Malcolm Lawrence said only one motor to track. The decimation doesn't change only the hour angles.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. Yeah. All right. Well, cool.
That's usually like your right ascension.
Yeah. Right ascension and hour angle are sort of synonymous. Hour angle has to do with the longitudinal motion of the telescope, and so your hour angle.
And of course, talking about Thuron also said there's always building your own ledge to telescope.
Yeah. So who knows, right?
There's a chance to get yourself a nice hula hoop, some good lengthy wire, and get like an a bone, run it with some cable, and you have a good DIY loop antenna.
Absolutely, and if nothing else,
you can just get 100-foot of speaker wire, and you can still use it as an antenna.
Yep. Absolutely. And I mean, if nothing else, I'll resort to duct tape and super glue. That always works. Always works.
Oh,
so hey there.
Alert.
Hey, what's going on, Ron?
Hey, not much. How you doing?
Everything's good.
I don't know if you can hear that.
Right.
You can't hear that radio, can you?
Yours? No.
Okay, good. That's good.
Nope.
I'm glad to know that.
Hey, Ron.
How you doing, Tom? Tom. I always get that mixed up.
Doing okay, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Excellent.
So hey, hey Bobby. Yeah, I've been over there at my station listening to Chris play, and Bobby said, "Come over and check in."
Very cool.
So,
Very cool. Yeah, feel free to come in anytime you want. You know that already.
Oh yeah. So on my base on my scope there, I noticed that there are 2 index marks on the mount. You know when you got to align it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's 2 little notches on the upper arm, and on the base there's 2 little marks. And where are those supposed to line up? I have a little level bubble on the tripod. Okay. Now, should that level bubble be pointed north? I kind of need to know this when I do get outside in a week or 2. And then I want to make sure the star sense is in a at least somewhat favorable alignment to where it can figure out stuff.
Yeah, I'd have to, and I mean, this is sort of what I recommend here. You're gonna have to look at the manual. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah. You might just have to point the thing approximately north, right? Level and north. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I noticed those 2 index marks. That's what got me wondering about.
Okay.
That. And so I want to make sure they're lined up in the right direction.
I gotcha. Yeah, I've actually been meaning to do this anyway, and that is look at the manual
Okay.
So I can definitely go ahead and look at that and see if I can make some sense out of it.
Okay, so Ron and Cosmic, I just want to let you know that Mark Antonio is on right now.
Oh, good.
Wow, everybody's on.
Yeah. Good.
Busy night
Excellent.
tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
and
you know.
a little trivia about Ron. Don't get him started with the Price is Right.
Okay. Nothing. We're not even going to say the Price is Right.
No. It's not on right now. I mean, it could be, I guess, but it's not.
That's funny. Yeah.
I watched that at 10 a.m. So
cool. Yeah. Definitely check out Mark D'Antonio's live stream. He's been doing some great stuff over there for I guess a little over a year now. But he what he was saying last night is that he wants to commit himself to live streaming every single clear night that he can.
yeah.
So that's quite quite a commitment to make.
Well, I did that
especially.
with my, I've done that with my radio station as far as broadcasting every day.
Yeah.
And, now I got other people working for me.
There you go. There you go. Very cool. Yeah. So Mark seems to be similar, to me in that, it's like, okay, look, I'm going to start and I'm going to do this for an hour and then I'm going to stop. Right. And what happens every single time, right, is that
one more object
is that you get started, right? And it's like, well, why do I want to stop doing this? This is great, right?
And it's 5 in the morning. 5 in the morning and you got to go to work. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah. So
Grab that extra big coffee.
Right. Well, and he's worked very, very hard to make it really, really easy on himself too, right? So he basically just has to sit there and push buttons, which is full, right? And
he has a nice scope. I think he has a 10-inch LX200, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, it's really, really fast though. It's really, really fast.
I don't like Mead personally. That's just me because I like Celestron. But I've had Mead as well, but I like Celestron as far as quality is concerned.
Okay. So. Yeah, I've used both over the years, and I like them both. I like them both equally. So yeah.
Well, now is this true? Now let me ask you this question: is this true? This is what I heard when I bought my Ultima 2000 in 1999. I paid just over $3,000 cash for that thing. All right, and that was top of the line at the moment. Okay, that was that was right on the beginning stages of the go-to mount. Okay,
right.
So that wasn't quite the go-to mount, but that was close. That was close to it. What I found with Celestron is that what I heard is that Celestron makes the scopes to order. So, for instance, if I put in an order for this, the one I just got, that's when they put it together. They make, the mirror might be already made, but that's when they put the scope actually together when the order comes in. Now, Mead, on the other hand, will put it together on an assembly line and put a whole bunch of them together and then ship them out to the stores, which I guess, I don't know which way is better. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've heard.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So I felt with Celestron, I get that hands-on, one-on-one experience with my scope. Like when I got my I had a 10-speed bicycle when I was in high school, like everyone did.
Mhm.
Well, I bought one from England called Raleigh
Yeah.
10-speed touring bike. It was a road touring bike. It was lightweight. You can lift it with one hand, you know.
Right. Oh yeah.
And
Those are
with
some of the
one
best.
finger, you know.
Yeah.
And you could go really fast on it. Not that I ever did go really fast on it, but you could, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was not a trail bike, so you had to ride it on the road. You know, it had really thin tires and everything like that.
Right.
And the thing is, Raleigh had a strike the year that I was going to get this bike, and I had to wait 6 months before I got the bike.
Oh wow.
But when I got it, it was like I finally got it. You know, it was like Cadillac still, and I had the flipper gear changers on the handlebars, on the end of the handlebars, instead of
Nice.
on the downs
Right.
bar.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you didn't have to leave your handlebars at all. And of course, when you're doing 40 miles an hour, you don't want to have to take your hands off the handlebars, be shifting gears. You
Not
know?
necessarily. Not necessarily. Yeah. Nice.
But so
Okay. Yeah.
that was handmade. That was handmade to my order. Is what I'm trying to get to with the bicycle and the telescope idea.
Yeah.
So that's what I like when I get something, a computer or anything I like it made to order, so to speak.
Mhm.
That makes
Mhm.
any sense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It sort of puts a personal touch on it. So.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
And that's
For
what I like
sure.
about Celestron for the most part.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I know each scope has that sense of appreciation for the build.
Yeah. Right. Right. As just as opposed to just pull one off the shelf and ship it.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
got it. So,
I got you.
but yeah, so
Fantastic. Yeah.
that might be like when you were a kid and you'd buy stereo equipment. You always had to buy you had the rack stereo system,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
you had to buy all the same equipment. If it was all Marantz, it had to be all Marantz, everything. You couldn't have, or if it was all Kenwood, it had to be all Kenwood. You couldn't have Pioneer and Kenwood mixed together. That wouldn't be any good.
Right. I got you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of telescopes, there is a great. We're still talking about the constellation of Leo, and one of my favorite objects of all time. I don't really look through telescopes that much anymore, but when I do, what I really like to look at are galaxies, right? I think it's a combination of it's sometimes a little bit of a challenge, right? Because they're really faint, fuzzy smudges, right? And so it's a little bit of a challenge, right? You have to sort of work for it a little bit, right? But also, I think about what I'm looking at, those photons, right, hitting these eyes, right, and what exactly am I seeing, right? And these galaxies are these islands, right, of literally billions and billions and billions, hundreds of billions of stars, and gas and dust and probably planets and who knows what, right? Just this incredibly complex system, right? Which we barely understand at all, right? But I just find them absolutely fascinating, to look at, right?
Oh, yeah.
And actually one of my favorites, and again, it's sort of a case where I'm not exactly sure why I particularly like this object, but it's a galaxy in the constellation of Leo called NGC 2903, and it's just west of Leo's head, right? So it's actually I really like the fact that modern telescopes do have a go-to function, right? I think that you know, for a lot of people, there's a frustration with getting a telescope and then having to try to find things, right? And I totally understand that is difficult and frustrating, right? However, if you are forced to find things that way, you learn the sky really, really well, and after some practice, it gets easier, right? You've got to get over this hump, right? Of trying to grab your charts, right? And this is one of the chart books that I still have, right?
Wow.
And being able to say, okay, I'm going to identify or find, this galaxy right here. Okay. So with no go-to at all, it's like, okay, these charts are just maps, right? They're maps of the sky. So what you have to do is you have to do a thing called star hopping, right? Where you you have to look at the chart, and then you have to look up in the sky and say, okay, that bright star is that bright star right there, right?
Right.
And then down from that is a fainter star. Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Then you start to get your sense of scale, right? And then it's really, really hard, right? But you learn the sky really, really well. I'm going to focus. It looks like it popped out of focus. Bam! There we go.
Yeah, when I was in the Navy, my job was navigation.
Okay.
Which we actually did use the stars. Not in so much as we had to, but it was something that we did learn.
Yeah.
All right. I did get the opportunity to use a sextant. Okay.
Sweet. Nice.
And what you're talking about is where you have to point to the star.
Yep.
And you have to look at your degree on your sextant, on your angle. Okay. And then when you can take that numbers, you take the numbers you have on your angle and map it on your chart, put it on your chart, and there's your location.
Right.
That is an amazing talent to have that ability.
Yes.
And it is challenging, but part of the ability that I like about the go-to scope now is that I'm really too old to try to hunt and find things.
Yeah. See, like I say over and over again, my thing is maximizing choice. Right.
And observing time on your favorites that you have.
Yeah. So if you can choose to be like, look, it's all I want to do is just look at some things, right? Yeah. Then you can use the go-to, it's done, right? If you want to actually find these things and learn the sky, a little bit more, you can do it that way too, right? I like choice. So yeah.
I used to have the Dobsonian 8-inch.
Yep.
Which was a really nice scope,
Yep.
And it's really portable. It's a little heavy, but you move one piece at a time and you set it up, and really easy to use though. And when you know the night sky, it is a little bit better that way, because then you can find things that you want to look at, pretty easily. Especially when you kind of know the constellations, and you know where different objects are, like the Andromeda Galaxy and things like that, And what I like to know about the go-to is like what you said. I can type in, as I showed you the other night with my phone, type in the Messier object, I can go right to it,
Right.
And so that's what I like about that. And within a few seconds here, looking at your object, And if you're like what I'm trying to get into is the photography part of it. If I want to take more time doing the photography, think of how many objects I can actually get in, say, a 6-hour night, you know,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I can be done, you know, on a nice summer night when it's nice and warm out and I got plenty of stars to look at, different things, you know. I just think of how much I can get done just on snapping pictures. If I get one of those little eyepiece things, you know, one of the little eyepiece cameras, and
Mhm.
I just go with that and just be taking pictures with that, you know, to start, you know,
Right.
and it doesn't have to be
Absolutely.
expensive. And then,
Absolutely. So yeah, my first scope, and the scope that I had up until, well, and I still have it, but I'm basically using this guy all the time now, past a couple of years or so. But I built that first 10-inch Dobsonian f5.6. I built that when I was 12. And so I had that for, let's see, 22, 32, 42, about 30, 35 or 36 years.
oh wow,
And then this guy came along. So yeah, I mean, I was all Dobsonian for that entire time.
yeah,
And Dobsonian,
it's a good way to learn. It is a good way to learn.
there's no other way to do it, right?
And then when you get to the compactness of these newer scopes, so, and then you understand the simplicity of what they can do, you know, and you don't have to really carry a whole lot of things out, or you know, a couple of big heavy pieces out, you know. So
yeah, it's super easy, to set up, and I mean, I think I can probably still claim that for most things, if you're really, really good at star hopping and all that, you can be about as fast as a go-to.
yeah.
But you have to get to that level,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's not going to happen, that fast. You have to do it, and that's why I sort of say in a joking way that March, the month of March is usually Messier Marathon month,
Oh yeah.
right? It's a time of year where one can see all but one of the Messier objects in one night,
Oh wow.
right? And so this happens every year, right? And it's an interesting challenge, but and I say this in a joking way, right? But I'm sort of partially serious too. It's like, if you're using a go-to scope,
You're cheating.
You're
kinda
cheating.
Yeah.
You're cheating a little bit, right? So but it depends on what you're after, right?
Now you could have a twofold competition. Now you can have a non-go-to competition, and you can have a go-to competition.
Right.
And then that would depend on your equipment, on how fast your clock drives are, how fast your motors are working, And then but you still have to have some kind of idea of where you want to look at anyway.
Right. And when you're moving through like all the galaxies in Virgo, right?
Yeah.
You have to, there are, and I'm exaggerating a little bit, but there are oftentimes more galaxies in the field of view than stars.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, which galaxy is which? You still have to be able to differentiate that. Right. And a go-to telescope isn't going to help you with that at all.
No.
So
I think what I'm planning for the use of this scope is I hope you got another glass somewhere.
No, I don't. It's a serious.
You got to take a
serious crisis. It's a serious crisis.
You better have some water, like bottled water, in there.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Now, see, if I was in Arizona where it was clear a lot of times, and it wasn't like, you know, minus 30 degrees out here, I would love to be out, you know, all night and looking, you know.
Yep.
And I would do the prospecting in the daytime, and I'd do the stargazing at night.
and you just wouldn't bother sleeping at all. There's no
That's
point.
right. You sleep when you're dead. You know, that's what they always say.
That's it. That's
Get
it.
plenty of sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah. So anyway, here, and you know, these particular charts are pretty narrow field, right? They're let's see, 29 to 16. So they're about 7 degrees high in declination and probably about 5 degrees in right ascension. But NGC 2903 is this little dude right right there, which I know that you can't see incredibly well.
Right, but I know, yeah, I see that idea.
If you look over here, this is kind of hard to see too, but you see these stars here?
Yeah.
That forms the head of the lion. Right?
Oh, okay.
So,
where's that one galaxy you were talking about?
Well, I'll show you. So if you look at these 3 stars right here,
yeah,
those are these 3 stars here.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Okay.
So you keep going over, right? You just sort of follow this over to there, and then you just drop down.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
And what is the magnitude of that?
So check out the name of that book.
This is Uranometria 2000 Volume 1. It basically covers the northern, well, it says right there,
yeah,
to a declination of -6. So I never bothered getting Volume 2, which is probably a bad thing, because at my latitude here, I can actually see down my horizon is a declination of -58. So I mean, I can actually see pretty pretty low down.
I saw a book on was it on Cloudy Nights that I saw the book at yeah, focused on those pages that you now it's out of focus.
There we go.
But I saw a book on I think it said 50 objects you can get with your next star telescope, you know, talking about the 8-inch, you know. And it I think like $20 or so for the book for a hardcover.
Sweet, nice.
You know, I don't know if you'd recommend something like that. Would that be a good starter book as far as, and it's dealing for the Northern Hemisphere too, so.
I would say, you know, I would say go for the Messiers first, right? Because they're bright and they're extremely interesting, and there's 110 of them, right? So that'll keep you, you know, that'll keep you busy for a little while. But you'll get the fever, as you already know. And you know, you'll want to dive into other things.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you know,
what is the magnitude of that galaxy you're talking about?
Actually, let's start diving into this. I'm going to go over to Sinbad, and we will take a look. So
I had another silly question that you don't really have to answer at the moment, but you can you can definitely think about the answer and really form your answer. It's all right. The beginning of time with the Big Bang.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, in my perception of creation, God, I don't mean to get religious or anything like that.
That's all right. That's all right.
Just to formulate the idea that I'm trying to get to. God placed things in order of where they are. In my viewpoint of the Big Bang, I don't understand how things can be in such order right now from chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Yeah.
do understand my perception on that question. And so there's probably still a few conversations out there dealing with the expansion of the universe, and then also it is collapsing at the same time. Like, what are they talking about? You know.
Well.
But within the placement, even in our own solar system, if you look at the explosion or the forming of the dust clouds becoming planets, and then all, you know, that seems a little bit out there to believe it in that sense. Now, in the sense of some God, if you will, put it there, and then it just circled around the sun. You know, I don't know if I believe that any better, but it seems more understandable than the Big Bang theory. And of course, I'm not a scientist, so I have no clue.
Hey, don't the modern day scientists have sort of become the what do I call them, in days of old, when somebody didn't understand something, they'd go to I'm forgetting the term. Anyway, we sort of have put scientists on a pedestal,
Right.
of being able to explain things, and they're the ones that know everything and all that. I got to tell you, they are as human as you are, and are about as clueless as everyone else, right?
Right.
They, we astronomers have certain tools, that we can use to make some guesses.
Yeah.
But these tools are very, very complicated, right? There's lots of buttons, there's lots of dials, there's lots of indicators, everything else, right? And so it's sort of the example I always like to use is that okay, say that the answer is 10, right? Well, how many different combinations of two numbers will give you, when added together, will give you an answer of 10? Well, there's an infinity, right? There's tons and tons and tons of numbers, right? There's 0 and 10, there's 1 and 9, 2 and 8, 3 and 7, 4 and 6, 5 and 5, right? And then all the fractions, right? So that what I've just described there is a very, very, very simple model, right? Where you've got two variables, A and B, when added equal 10. Now 10 is sort of equivalent to some observation we make, right? That star is red, right? Well, why is it red? What kinds of combinations of parameters go in, to making a star red? Well, there's lots and lots and lots, and there are probably things that we just don't know yet, right? So one of the big things that I like to talk about here on this live stream a lot is skepticism, right? Not cynicism, right? Skepticism. Be very, very skeptical and very, very discerning with things that you hear and find out about. But also keep an open mind, right? Because and as far as I'm concerned, we simply just do not know enough. And so, as far as I'm concerned, any explanation is pretty much as good as any other,
Right.
because we just don't know. And in a certain sense, if you really extend that out, if we knew everything, it'd be a little boring, right?
Oh yeah.
So I sort of appreciate the fact that we don't know things, at least not yet.
We can still learn. We can still learn new things. Yeah.
We haven't even started. We haven't even started. Anyway, here is NGC 2903 in all of its glory, as
Yeah.
viewed by
That's
the.
amazing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful galaxy.
See, when I
Now,
look at that, I think of who put that there. I don't think of, oh, that's where it expanded to from the Big Bang. I
yeah,
think
I
of
don't
who put
know.
that,
Yeah, I
you
don't
know.
know. Like I said, I've got an open mind about all these things. So,
That's amazing. What's the squirrel? The arms on that.
yeah. Well, it's definitely a spiral galaxy, but it's got this cool little bar in there too. So it's probably a barred spiral
I was going
as
to say
well.
that. Yeah. Combination. Yeah.
So let's go
Now, can I
back
see that?
and
I can see that with my scope.
yes, this is a great telescope object. Now, also, like I say every single time, it is not going to look like that in your scope, right?
Right.
Which,
Right.
what you're going to see is
Probably
sort
the
of
brighter,
this,
yeah.
the brighter thing here, and a little bit of fuzz, right? I mean, you'll definitely be able to tell that it has this elongated shape, right? But with your own eyes, you're not going to see any of these spiral
Right.
arms. You're
Right.
probably not going to see the bar in there, right? It's going to look like a fuzzy, a gray fuzzy blob, very, very faint, with probably a relatively bright nucleus, and that's about it. If we actually go over and look at the visual magnitudes, which UBV and R, those are sort of in the visual range. Yeah, it's about ninth magnitude, 10th or so. So as far as galaxies go, this is pretty bright, right? I mean, this is on par with Messier objects, and so that kind of makes you wonder, why did Mr. Charles or how did he miss this, right?
Yeah.
Don't know. I mean, it depends on where you're looking, right?
Or did somebody see it before he got to it?
That's entirely possible too. Yeah. Don't know exactly. Anyway, yeah, I think this is definitely. I think this B here does mean that it's a barred. This SB, of course, S means spiral. B is a particular spiral type, which sort of indicates not incredibly tight spiral arms, not really loose either, just sort of right in the middle.
Okay, so Jim, I think he's got a comment from Ron. For Ron, you will have to take a lot of exposures and stack them up.
Yeah. These, this obviously is taken with a camera, multiple filters, and stacked. So I mean, once you get your photographic system going, Ron, you'll be able to produce similar things. In fact, we can probably go over to cloudy nights and look at some so-called amateur
Amateurs got
shots.
I noticed I've seen that a few of them that have some good shots that I was looking at.
Yeah,
and it's exciting to know that they were using my scope that I have. So that's nice to know.
Yeah.
You get a lot of times when you see that box, and the telescope box, it shows all these pictures on there, you know, and it shows, you know, oh, you can see this with that. Now, you can try to go look at that, and you ain't gonna see that.
Right. So here's, let's see, we can look at the details of the exposure here a little bit. See what he or she, I don't know who it is. So let's see, this is a 16-inch dream scope, they call it. That's kind of interesting. Exposure 6 hours, right?
Wow.
So they took 36. Yeah. This is either an all-night thing or a multi-night thing, right? But they took you know, red, green, blue, and then luminance exposures, and just added them all up, right? And yeah, it's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, with my eyepiece kit that I got with the scope, that was a free gift with the scope. They came with filters on them, you know, eyepiece filters.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be interesting.
Nice. So yeah, you know, I mean, I think, you know, the only difference here between your scope and this scope is that you know, it's got 4 times the collecting area, right? So you know, you would have to take 4 times the exposure to get that kind of depth, right? But that's really the only difference in terms of color and everything. Yeah, I mean, you'll get that.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
And Leo will be in the summertime. Leo will be up in practically in the middle of the sky, I think, right?
At sunset. Yeah. You know, that's one of the things that.
And you should know that's also my zodiac sign.
Say that again, Bobby. I didn't hear that.
That Leo's my zodiac sign.
Oh, very cool. Okay. Yeah. You know, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that you know, most things are actually observable any time of year, right? It's just a matter of what time of night, right? We can see, you know, I mean, the except for about a 1.5 hour time period west and east of the sun, right? We can see everything in the sky every single day, right? So out of a 24-hour sky, right? About 1/2 of that. Well, no, that's not true. So out of a 24-hour sky, only 3 hours of that isn't really accessible to us, right? We can see all the rest. I think that's a true statement. Yeah.
Yeah, the one night that was clear at sunset, I was trying to find Mercury, which I didn't have any luck.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah,
it's starting to dive towards the sun now. So you're probably out of luck this time around.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe I could see it, you know, and at sunset. Now they did say that they'll be coming around in the morning time early, so right ahead of the sun.
Yeah, and again, you'll be able to see it in the early evenings in the fall as well. So
now in the morning time, if I want to look at that, and it's a clear morning sunrise, which we don't have very many at the moment, and it's still kind of chilly out, but I would be willing to take the risk to go out and look.
Yeah.
If I could see it, where would I look in the horizon, and how far up? And
well, it sort of depends on you know, what day you're going to be looking at it. If you're looking at it like like when it's furthest from the sun. We'd have to look that up to find out exactly when that is,
Okay.
and um, um, like how far away it would
That
be
would be that would
from
be
the sun.
one of my goals, just to challenge myself to try to see it even once. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, seeing Mercury is definitely a thing that you should have on your list,
Yeah.
because it's just I mean, it's one of the planets, and
Right.
that's very, very cool,
The
right?
other planet would be I still call Pluto a planet.
That's
So
all right.
and then Uranus would be good to try to see, which those are kind of odd to find anyway in the first place.
Yeah. Well, um, 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 Uranus and Neptune, you definitely have to have a scope to do that.
Yeah.
But those are definitely doable. Uranus is a beautiful sort of a greenish
Yeah.
color, and Neptune is sort of a bluish color. It's really, really awesome.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, let's keep
If I look
going
at
here.
Saturn, what can I see with can I see the division and the rings?
Oh yeah,
The
oh
Venus
yeah,
division?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Good.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that'd
No
be fun.
problem at all. No
That'd be
problem at
fun.
all. And you'll be able to see several of Saturn's moons.
Oh yeah.
And when you get into photography, you might actually be able to do some pretty good photos there too. And
Oh yeah.
With some processing,
Yeah.
you'll be amazed what you can do with that. So
I'm gonna work on getting better at that. So
it's just practice. That's
yeah.
it. Lots of practice. All right. So NGC 2903, as usual, a bunch of different names for it. Just mainly just catalogs. And here's something really, really interesting. It's also at least here it's designated as NGC 2905.
Mhm.
So what is going on there? I'm not quite sure. I've actually seen this before and never really investigated all that much. I'm sort of wondering if 2905. I have to investigate that a little bit. I wonder how we could find out a little bit more about that, because that's kind of in fact, look at that. This is actually saying I did a search for 2903 and it came up 2905, but it's actually identifying as 2903 as well. So, I'm gonna have to investigate that a little bit. No, I don't think so.
Is there something behind it that we don't see?
Well, that's not how these catalogs work, though. So I doubt that. It's kind of, as I said, I noticed this before, and I was like, "Huh, that's a little weird." But now I'm looking at it a little bit more, and it's like, "Wow, that is incredibly weird." So don't really know what's going on there.
That's the alternate universe. That's what that is.
Oh, that's what it must be. Of course.
Thought you'd like that answer.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't prove it, right? We can't prove it. We might as well use it for an answer.
Yeah. Well, I can say that I mean for sure, right? That is what I would call NGC 2903. But yeah, I wonder what's.
Zoom out on that picture and get the whole picture of the sky again.
Yeah, but there's nothing around it. I mean, there's a little bit of a dwarf galaxy here.
That orange one there on the top.
Well, these are stars.
Okay, those are stars. Okay.
Yeah.
What is that one on the top up there?
That's a star too. It's just got a weird kind of optical thing, right? So yeah, there aren't any other galaxies around. See, there's a little dwarf one here of some sort. So
That's weird. Yeah.
yeah,
Actually, the eyepiece filters are a lot different from photo filters. His goal is to see as much as he can in the sky, but you can never see anything in a lifetime. And Todd is saying all you can do is keep looking and see as much as you can.
yeah, that is absolutely true. There is more stuff out there that can just. I mean, if you just want to look, right? You don't want to measure. You don't want to study. You don't want to do anything else. If you just want to look, there are lifetimes of just looking. So yeah, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. So yeah, that's a little bit of a mystery as to what's going on there. But well, let's move on, because I'm noticing what time it is and want to keep moving on a little bit. So of course it's very, very well studied. We'll get back to that. Let's look at some distances and velocities here. All right, put that book back down on the floor. So, all right, well, pretty good agreement here. Sort of. Here's a 6.6 in there, but I'd put that around about 9 or so.
Okay.
9 million parsecs away. So, what were we looking at the other day? M65 was about the same. It was about 10. So, okay. Yes.
Parsec is how long?
So a parsec is 3.26 light years. So I've grabbed my handy dandy calculator here, and which I always
working.
Well, except for that one column, right? It's still misbehaving and is cause for a lot of frustration sometimes, but so 3.26 million light years, right, times 9. So that's about almost 30,000 light years away. Or I'm sorry, 30 million light years away. So that's again, that's sort of neighborhood distance. That's not really far. So I think a lot of astronomers, they like to throw around these big numbers and stuff and try to impress people, right? And I don't like to do that. One thing that I've observed about this universe is that it's fractal, right? So we sort of it just depends on scale, right? So whether it's millions of light years or thousands of light years or billions of light years, don't be too impressed with those kinds of numbers, right? And really, 30 million light years away, that's almost next door, which of course is why we can see all the details that we can, and why this galaxy is so relatively large and relatively bright, right? So not too bad.
What's that on the upper right? That picture.
You're talking about this guy?
Yeah.
That's either a background galaxy, maybe some kind of elliptical galaxy, or it might be a companion galaxy to this. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, just
What about the Andromeda galaxy? As we were talking about this closeness of these galaxies, the Andromeda galaxy is 4.6 light years away.
No, the Andromeda galaxy is about 2 million light years away.
Oh, okay, so we got time.
Yeah, so it's about 15 times closer than this guy is.
Oh.
So yeah, that's I mean, with the Andromeda, we're like shoulder to shoulder there, right? This is sort of neighborhood, you know, on the same block.
Okay.
So yeah, all right.
Just important that Ron was talking about, and that galaxy may not even exist today.
Well, it probably doesn't look like this anymore, you know, because we think that you know, things evolve, which means they change, right? So you know, this, yeah, you know, as the story goes, this is what this galaxy looked like 30 million years ago, right? We don't know what it looks like now, because that information is still traveling to us. It's probably different. I can't really say that it wouldn't be there anymore. That's kind of hard to imagine, because that's a pretty short amount of time, actually. But yeah, I mean, it is probably different, right? But yeah, I mean, 30 million years isn't really all that long. Not really. All right, let's keep going here. It sort of looks like they've got pretty good confidence in its radial velocity. So this is how fast this galaxy seems to be moving away from us. So what, about 550 kilometers per second? So again, you know, this is sort of showing, you know, again, you know, that seems like a very, very fast speed, but for galaxies, that's really not all that fast. It's definitely going away from us, but not at a really huge clip. I mean, that's fast, right? But it's not insanely fast or anything. So, all right, well, cool. Let's.
Now, would there be planets like Earth evolving or being created at these other galaxies, like in the same area of the galaxy?
I don't see why not. You know, we don't have the technology to know that at this point. But you know, it seems to be happening all over the place, right? You know, we're seeing what we're pretty sure, you know, are planets around almost every single star we look at, right? So you know, I think, you know, one can be pretty confident in saying that, yeah, there's probably lots of planets everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, then the other question that comes to mind is, a lot of people talk about the center of the galaxies all have these giant black holes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which I guess in a way we'd have to have something that holds the galaxy together as it's, you know, spinning around. So what do you think about these? Does our galaxy have a black hole, and is it eventually going to suck everything into it, or how does that work?
Yeah, you know, there are theories about that, and there definitely is something at the center of our galaxy, and most galaxies that you know, seem to indicate that there's a lot of mass there, right? Whether that's actually a lot of stuff, a lot of matter, don't really know, right? Because Einstein showed that there is, you know, this equivalency between energy and mass, and a lot of people confuse matter and mass. So those two things are kind of different. So, but there is something pretty interesting going on there. No one has ever actually seen a black hole, right? That is still a theoretical thing, right? Although, and I've thought of that word, it's the high priest. The high priests say that there are black holes, right? I don't know about that. There, as I said, there might be some confusion between something very, very energetic and something very, very massive. There's sort of an equivalency there. So, is there a lot of energy there, or is there a lot of mass there? Well, it's hard to tell because we don't know, right? There certainly is something extremely interesting going on there that looks like a lot of mass. But what it is exactly, don't know. I mean, the models that we have, make the scientists extremely excited and say black hole. A pretty massive one too. They're talking about 30,000 times the mass of the sun or something like that. Something really, really massive, right? But again, I don't know. I want to keep an open mind about what the possibilities are, and not feel so sure about it's got to be a black hole, right? Black holes are mathematical things, and mathematics is a tricky game, right? So to rely on that, I don't know. Definitely lots of interesting things going on there, though, for sure. So, but what exactly it is, you're not going to pry that out of me because I don't know. Don't have a clue.
Isn't black hole and the way they describe it the best theory based on all of the observable evidence so far? I mean, that's right. There's no other competing theory that's just as good right now, is there?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think there is. It's just it's another case of at least as far as I'm concerned, I don't think we know enough, right? And to be so sure about things is a red flag to me. So yeah. But yeah,
that's what I like about the flexibility of science and astronomy and just being able to have differences of thought,
Sure, absolutely.
And we don't have to be judgmental over one person's idea. And
that is one of the ways that science should work. Is that there shouldn't be any kind of dogma, right? There shouldn't be.
Whirlpool galaxy. Did those two galaxies already collided to each other?
M51.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they're relatively.
I was always wondering what that tail was for.
Yeah, they're relatively close to one another. So I don't really know if they have any measurements in terms of motions and stuff. So yeah, don't know. Don't know exactly. So let's see if we can find out anything moderately interesting about NGC 290. I'm going to call it NGC 2903. Extended distribution of baryons around galaxies. Let's just do a, let's see if we can do that. 903. Carbon monoxide multi-line imaging, okay, of 2903. Optical supernova remnants, hot diffusion emission in the nuclear starburst region of NGC 2903. Okay, so they're talking about a starburst region. That's a very, very active region where apparently stars are being formed in a very, very active way, right? Lots and lots of
like
stars.
the Orion Nebula.
Sort of the same kind of thing, but even more so.
Oh, a little
right?
more violent then. Okay.
Yeah, even a little bit more exciting. So let's keep
You
going.
wouldn't want to be there.
Probably not. Probably not.
But what if you could be there in a special situation where you could observe that close up,
I think that'd be great.
and you had the opportunity to be there in a bubble or in a ship, you know, where you can actually see it. You know, like you had one guy on the science show where he'd be sailing through the universe, you know, in a clear bubble, and he'd be showing you different things. What was his name? A black guy. I can't remember his name though.
Oh, you're talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
And he would do a little study on astronomy and the galaxy and the universe, or whatever it was called. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And
in fact,
he take you on a tour each week and just show you different things about space and different things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was Cosmos.
Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool to be able to be in a bubble like that and just go along?
Absolutely. Yeah. He's got a series called Cosmos.
There
right?
you go.
Which is sort of a continuation, I guess I would say, of the Cosmos series that was started by Carl Sagan back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And Carl Sagan, he came up with this idea of a space.
The original Cosmos were like in the 80s or something, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And well, Carl Sagan developed, this idea of a spaceship of the imagination.
Yeah,
right?
In the 80s, he did the Cosmos series.
Say that again, Bobby.
Did Carl Sagan's Cosmos, A Personal Voyage, was in 1985?
I think it was in the early 80s. I think I want to say maybe even late 70s it started. Don't remember exactly what the dates were, but I was there. That series hit me like a bomb.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was primed, and that was definitely the fuel.
That both Carl Sagan's Cosmos Personal Voyage and Neil deGrasse Tyson's Cosmos Space Time Odyssey.
Yeah, and in fact, there's going to be a third Cosmos series coming out. I don't remember exactly when, but Neil deGrasse Tyson again is going to be doing another series. At least that's what I heard. So that'll be cool. Nothing like the original, but I'm all for it, for sure. Let's see. So some X-ray observations of 2903. That's pretty cool. Let's see what else we got here. See if there's anything that particularly. That's kind of interesting. So NGC 2903, the Galaxy Messier Mist.
Oh.
That's kind of interesting. Well, let's take a look at that really, really quick. Let's see what that's all about. load up the astrophysics data system here. And grab. Okay, so it's just a short little ditty here. Okay, yeah, so not much there, but
that's one that he missed, as you were talking about.
Yeah. So discovered in 1784. Yeah.
That one on the left looks like probably what we would see in an 8-inch, right?
Well, this is a drawing, right?
Right.
So maybe something a little bit more similar, to what you would see.
Okay.
Even this, this is after staring at it for a long time, waiting for the atmosphere to settle out a little bit, and maybe using the imagination a little bit. But if you look at the photograph here, right, you can sort of see there's two bright points.
Yeah.
He's definitely got the bright bar on this side, right? He sort of missed this bright area here, but he's got a chunk here and a chunk here.
I wouldn't be able to draw that good. That's pretty good drawing.
Yeah. He's got the spiral arms, right? There's this one here, which is this one here, which is sort of this thing, this one, which comes around like that. So
I can't even draw stick people, right?
Oh yeah, there's no way I could do that either. No way. Okay, so that's not as interesting as I was sort of hoping it would be. Let's go back and look and see what else.
Some guy on Facebook, I think it was, he was drawing stick arms on chickens. Pretty funny. Had a stick arm with the 5 fingers out,
Yeah.
You can imagine that in your head.
That's great. Derivation of the dynamical masses of stellar clusters. HCN.
I used to like reading, I think his name was Gary Larson. He had a book about the cows.
Yes.
Some of the funny things that he had about the cows doing, it's like, do they really do that? Then when you go out and you look at cows, you make sure they weren't standing up, and things like.
That's great. So here's some neutral hydrogen mapping, and they're calling it deep, which usually means just long exposure. Hydrogen 1, you could also call hydrogen alpha, right? That I believe is the same thing. Maybe. So let's take a look. They might be looking at this in the radio though. So let's dive into this a little bit and see. I don't want to go too much longer here. No abstract. No paper. No nothing. Those turkeys. Let's see if we can find out anything about this at all. No, it doesn't look like it. Well, shoot. Let's I gotta find something about this. Something about this little dude here. 2903. Gonna have to go through all these again. Here we go. Whoop, not too far. Deep H1 mapping in 2903. The X-ray halo of the hotspot galaxy 2903. Well, let's look at NGC 2903 in the X-ray. We don't get to do that very often. So this was taken with ROSAT data. That's cool. Let's see here. Definitely a paper there. X-ray, of course, we have to go above the Earth's atmosphere to see that. So ROSAT was a satellite. Was or is? I don't think ROSAT's running anymore. I don't think so. Maybe it is. Yeah, probably not. So let's see. Hotspot Galaxy 2903. Its isolated system strikingly reveals a soft, extended X-ray feature reaching to the northwest direction up to a projected distance of 5.2 thousand parsecs. So 5,200 parsecs from the center. The residual X-ray emission in the disk reveals the same extension as the hydrogen alpha disk. Luminosity 10 to the 38 ergs per second. I'm trying to remember what the luminosity of the sun is, of our sun. It's several orders of magnitude less than that. I can say that much.
Right when you stare at it. Oh wait,
pretty.
Don't stare at.
Don't stare at the galaxy. It's too bright.
Right.
Galactic super winds. Cool. Kind of neat. Let's see if there's a picture. Here's some characteristics that they talk about. Okay. Let's see. Observations and data reduction. Yeah. So this was with ROSAT. Already said that part. Let's see. Yeah, so these are just the observation, sort of an observing log showing where they looked and how long and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so there we go. Source detections. So, all right, north and east, sort of identifying some sources here. Kind of small, kind of hard to interpret. Here's our little scale here. So 5 arc minutes is that much. So this is a narrow field of view, and this is a wide field of view. Trying to remember if did Sinbad tell us anything about how big this, how large this object is in the sky? I'm not seeing it here, at least. Okay, so we don't really know how big that is. Probably it says maybe up in the... Okay, so yeah, so there, I'm not quite sure what this D25 diameter is, but it's talking about like around 11.6 arc minutes. So if we look, here, sorry, I'm flying all over the place. So yeah, this is like 20 arc minutes here. So yeah, we're looking at things extended quite a ways out. So yeah, I guess some identified X-ray sources out there. Okay. Nucleus, which is number 2. Number 2. All right. Here's some contour maps. Okay, so this is actually showing the... Okay, so I think how I'm interpreting this is that the dark part here is the hydrogen alpha image, and then overlaid on that is the X-ray. So okay, you can kind of see what's going on there a little bit. Of course, you know, we'd have to dive into this a lot more than what I'm sort of prepared to do, but sort of get an idea. Looks like there's more X-ray emission up here than down here, so okay. Seems to correlate a little bit. Again, a nice thorough analysis. It looks like much more than what I definitely want to be getting into here. So, all right. Well, we're definitely way over time, so I think I'm gonna cut this off for now, and let's continue looking at NGC 2903. Not tomorrow, though. I gotta say, I'm going to be doing a sweat lodge tomorrow, so I'm not going to be here at this time. So, but definitely let's catch this in a couple of Earth rotations and pick it up again. As you can see, I've got a little friend over here who is anxiously wanting to get out, but he doesn't have any thumbs, so he can't open the door by himself. So I think he needs a little bit of help.
I'm gonna ask you real quick. Did you get an email from Venus yet?
Haven't gotten anything from her yet. No.
Okay, I'll remind her to get in touch with you.
Okay, cool, excellent. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to get out of here for now. Let's definitely.
Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time, she's going to be doing producer Bill's reading.
Oh, great! Excellent.
Fantastic. If you want to. I don't know if you believe in that kind of stuff or what. I like it. It's entertainment to me. Sure.
Yeah. I'm that's I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow morning, but if I'm around, I will definitely try to check it out.
It'll be safe for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent.
And just also want to let you know that even the live stream is canceled for tomorrow. And Saturday and Sunday local Central Time or Central Daylight Time, as we're going to be transitioning to DST around the weekend.
Right.
Saturday, going to a local wrestling presentation
from
a local wrestling group, and then Sunday will be a WWE pay-per-view viewing party.
Cool.
Very cool. All right. Well, have a good time with that. And but yeah, so tomorrow's live stream is canceled. So that'll be for the 9th. All right. But definitely be back on the 10th. So all right. Well, I'm going to get out of here for now. So thanks everybody for coming in once again. Let us do this again in a couple days. This is great fun. So and all right, I'm gonna get out of here. I am definitely pooped. So peace, cheers, and all that. I will see you all on a couple of spins. All right.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you later.